All right, y'all, this is the saddle I'm currently running, and this is the Bontrager Verse Pro. This is the one with the carbon rails, and then on my Trek, I'm running the Bontrager Verse Comp, and the Comp just has different rails. I was running the Pro on both, but I don't know what it is about the C-clamp, man. It does not like carbon rails well. It keeps slipping, and then if you tighten it up too much, it'll crack them. But anyway, so I'm always in a search for a perfect saddle, right? And the saddle I just picked up is this Selle Italia joint. I want to say it's the SLR Boost, right? And I'm going to tell you why I got this saddle, right? First of all, this saddle is 130 wide. I like narrow saddles. The Bontrager saddles that I'm running right now, these are 135, right? Wide, both of them. And I got the same saddle on my trainer bike. So what led me to get this saddle is this is the saddle that comes on the Canyon bikes, right? It's the one that comes on the Aeroad and the one that comes on the Ultimate, right? Canyon sells a lot of bikes, and I've seen a lot of reviews on these Canyon bikes, and I've never heard no one complain about this bike, and I don't hear people complain about this saddle. So I know the saddle is working, right? My dad recently bought a Canyon Aeroad, right? And like I said, that saddle comes on that bike, right? So dad was riding the same saddle I was riding, the Bontrager Verse saddle, right? The only difference between me and dad was riding a 145 and I was running a 135. But the saddle that came on his Canyon is a 130. So I asked dad, I said, hey, how are you liking this saddle? He says, man, I love it. It is super comfortable. So I was like, dang, let me see if I can find one, right? So I found one used. I think I paid like $100 for it. And to me, that was worth the experiment to see if I could find comfort, you know? And then also, I like how they have different versions of it. You can get one with carbon rails. I think I got the middle grade one with, I want to say, with the rail material, it's the one with the middle amount of weight. They make one that's a little bit heavier, and the one with the carbon rails is the lightest one. So if I really like the saddle, I will swap the one out on my Bianchi with one with carbon rails, because the way the clamp system is on the Bianchi, it likes carbon rail saddles. And the way, because it clamps from the top and the bottom, so you can pretty much put any saddle on this bike. You don't need a special clamp. With my Trek, if you want to run a carbon saddle, you need the rails that accommodate the 7x9 or the 7x10 rails. And if you use one that's not a carbon rail saddle, you need the other clamp. And I have both clamps, but like I said, for some reason, carbon railed saddles on the Trek, they don't play nice, so I stopped running them on that. But yeah, I'm very much interested in putting this saddle on this bike and seeing what the fit and feel looks like. And my biggest complaint with the Bontrager Verse saddle, right? It has just like a slight curve to it. Not a big curve, just like a slight curve to it. And I prefer to have a flat saddle. Like if you're looking at it, you can see it just dips down a little bit right here. So I really got to play with it to kind of find the right position. And if you're looking at the Selle one, it has a little curve to it too, but it's a little more flat and it's a little more narrow. Definitely more narrow. It's more flat, more narrow, and the cutout is larger. So we will see what the difference is. I literally just got the saddle today. I'm gonna throw it on the Trek, and we're gonna go put some miles on this bike, man. Definitely. And I'll throw a little video of it so you can see what it looks like once I got it swapped out.
A few moments later.
Okay, another quick thing about this saddle that might be interesting is the weight, right? Now, weight is not a deciding factor for me when I'm picking a saddle, because I'd rather be comfortable than light. But if it just happens to be comfortable and light, you know, that's a double win. So this is the one I was running before. Like I said, this is the Bontrager Verse Comp, and this joint is it's a hefty saddle, man. Let's see how much it weighs. This thing weighs 327 grams. That is insane, man. And this is the saddle that I'm replacing it with. This is the Selle Italia SLR Boost Superflow. 180 grams. Wow. Huge weight savings. And like I said, I didn't buy this saddle or saddles specifically for weight. I really buy them to make sure they work. And if they work for me, then great. If it weighs a lot and it works, then hey, that's just a sacrifice that I am willing to have. I'd rather have the weight and comfort instead of being light and have discomfort. But anyway, let's get this thing on the bike.
More moments later.
All right, this is what it's looking like on the bike. Of course, I probably got to make some adjustments, but we out here. We about to get some miles on this thing. Some test fit. I think I need to probably tilt the front down a little bit. But we're going to get on here and see what it does. Probably knock out about maybe like 30, 35 miles today. All right, let's get after it. All right, y'all. This saddle is feeling absolutely insane, man. I don't know what this video is going to look like. The rain has finally caught up to me. Right now I'm 27 miles in, and what I did was I started off doing some hills. I did about 1,000 feet of climbing. I tried my best to stay seated to see how the saddle feels. Now I'm just doing like some tempo, a couple little sprints on some flat, and closing it out. And like I said, right now I'm at 27.5 miles an hour, 27.5 miles total, and I'm gonna probably take 3 more miles to get to 30. But the saddle's on point, man. Money well spent. I guess now I gotta find, shoot, 2 more of them. One from my Bianchi and one from my trainer bike. But that's it, man. Stay tuned. That's all I got for y'all right now.
I remember, I don't forget, bitch, I'm everywhere in town. Think about the ways to get my bird up.